Okay, everyone saw this coming eventually. At least I knew this was coming. So there are some things circulating out there about GameStop and their retro game business. And just for your information, not that you need to know, but this is cider because reason one, it is fall, and reason two, I need something nice and sweet to go with this kind of bitter news that I have for you. And that will probably happen the entire fall. Now, to get back on topic, we have two instances, at least from my personal experience, that I have seen with my eyes, two videos, two instances, where GameStop really needs to step up their game, and in all honesty, in my opinion, I think they need to either re-evaluate everything they're doing, or they need to fucking get off the train while it's already derailed. So, we're going to talk about their policies and other topics about their retro gaming online store that they've been doing. I'm gonna go through the first instance, which I've seen the video a little while ago. It's not very long, and it shows someone who decided to buy a copy of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. I'm pretty sure it was a collector's edition. I saw it once, and I honestly don't even remember exactly where I saw it, but I'll leave a link to the video down below. I'm sure I can find it somewhere. Oh, it's gonna get real bitter in a minute. So, he bought a copy of Majora's Mask. I believe it was the one with the hologram too. It was the hologram plated one. Now, the fun thing is one of the big topics that was talked about with this is that when you buy something off of their website, you don't get like a picture of like the actual game you're getting in stock. I mean, I'm pretty sure they can't do that. They're not going to do that. They don't have the time or the manpower. But apparently, when you go through the rest of this video, you're going to find out that they don't have the manpower to do dick. So, in this instance specifically though, this person bought this game, and if I remember correctly, he paid retail-ish. Honestly, I don't even really remember the number. I'm thinking it's somewhere between $40, $45, something like that. So, he paid for this. And it looks like someone took a bite out of the back of the entire cartridge. Now, when he was showing the video, he showed you the cartridge, but then when he flipped it this way, I believe it was on this side, you saw, like, the entire area my finger covers is basically how much of the cartridge was chipped off. So imagine that all you could see is the chip down here, but not the backing part. That's how much of it that was missing, roughly. This is probably a little too much, but you see my point. You're not getting all the information. The only information you're getting is that what you're supposed to be getting in the mail is a copy, in this case, of Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. It's not confirmed whether you're getting one with the normal label or the holographic label. And then on top of that, like I said, you're not knowing what the condition is, and you're paying almost top dollar, because if you looked at some of their numbers, they're at some of those games that they're asking that they're selling, some of the games that they're selling are more than retail. More. And I understand where they're coming from with their prices. Like, some of them, they're trying to compete, but at the same time, they also don't want to lose money off of this. But in all honesty, I think the best policy for this kind of thing is the best way to make money off something like this is you always make sure your prices are the lowest that they can be. And no matter what the case is, if your prices are low, people are going to buy it, as long as you promise them what you promise them. And apparently, GameStop is not doing that. Now, to go even further on the tangent, there's a second person, and I just saw a video, or at least I skimmed over it. It was a video that Pat the NES Punk did, and this is where I drew the line, and I was like, fuck it, I can't stay quiet about this any longer. is someone got a copy of Chrono Trigger for $85 and some change, I think, which is honestly not a bad deal, because I know that my best friend, if you remember from a past video of mine, bought me a Chrono Trigger because she knew that that was one of my childhood games and one that's really hard to find, and I never really come across it. And it seemed like after she bought it for me, I'm finding them everywhere, but they're at retail stores, which is funny. But you don't normally just find them out in the wild, and you're not gonna find one for 10 bucks, 20 bucks, unless if the person doesn't know what they have. But if they do know what they have, they're gonna charge you the shot for it. Now, since then, like I said, she bought it for me, and I'm pretty sure she also got it with the manuals and the maps, and all I'm missing is the box now. And I'm pretty sure she paid a good penny, definitely more than the $85 this person paid. And this person was getting a cartridge-only copy. This game is still about 100 bucks, maybe a little less, but not by much. Now this person, I watched his video, this person who got this Chrono Trigger from Gamestop, and of course there's got to be something wrong with it, but this is by far one of the worst things that could have happened. He got a copy of Madden 95 instead of Chrono Trigger, and the best part about it was someone made a repro label and stuck it on to a Madden 95, and somehow it went through GameStop's incredible machine that they have for deciphering whether the game you're giving them is the game you're giving them or not. And it got through all the channels and got out to a customer. And this person paid the most they're ever gonna pay for a copy of Madden 95. That's awful. That's absolutely awful. And the worst part is when you look at that label, when you click that link down below and you watch this video and he shows you that Chrono Trigger, you're gonna look at it and you're gonna know instantly that that is not Chrono Trigger. Or at the very worst case, which is this guy was being optimistic, and I swear to you, I swear, this guy must have more patience than I do, and I'm a pretty patient man, but he actually said this in his video, that he was okay that they had to reprint a label for Chrono Trigger and put it on there. I'm assuming what he meant was, as long as it's Chrono Trigger on the cartridge, he didn't care that there was a repro label. Now, before we get too deep into that comment, I want to track back here just a minute about this trained GameStop employees that they claim that they have, that can decipher whether they have repro cards, they can test the battery saves and all the things. The answer is they can't do it. They don't have the manpower, they don't have the people who know how to do it. They're about as good at checking that shit as I am, and I'm not that good at it. GameStop, you need to quit while you're ahead, in my opinion. But if you don't, you at least need to fucking turn this entire operation upside down and do it the way you're supposed to do it. And in all honesty, part of that, the biggest part of that means get rid of the fucking online store and sell it in stores. Because people do not want to pay for something they can't see. Whenever I am big with using Craigslist, because I get extremely lucky with Craigslist, but nobody wants to buy something that they can't see. And the fact that people are doing this, that they're testing out the trust that they're putting into you, into selling them a game that they cannot see, is extraordinary. And the fact that you guys are not fucking doing your jobs, checking the labels, checking the batteries, checking everything, this project will be the death of you. I'm going to tell you that right now. This will not last. Much like everyone's predictions, knowing that this could not go well for you guys, I'm telling you right now, This will not last. Will not last. The main point is this is something that was mentioned in the Pat video. This must have gone through many people before it even got to the customer. And you're telling me not one of them suspected any foul play with it? It's bullshit. They didn't care. They didn't run tests. They don't know what they're doing, and they need to be fired. They need to be frigging sent off to go do something else because they are not fit to handle this job. Now, there's people that might argue that this guy's got a publicity stunt. I need something sweet. That he made this video as a publicity stunt to get Gamestop, you know, give him some bad news, bad blood, whatever. I don't really care what you call it. Why would he do that? That would mean that this copy of Madden 95 with a repro Chrono Trigger label is something he did on his own. That costs money and that costs time. Who the fuck has that kind of money and that kind of time to try and smear a company that he doesn't like? Who on the fucking planet has that kind of time, has that kind of patience, and that hatred for one company to do something stupid like that? This wasn't fake. The only thing that was fake was that fucking copy of Chrono Trigger that GameStop let get through their hands and into a customer's hand and sold it and took that $85 and fucking is jacking off with it right now. And this kid gets a fucking copy of Madden 95 instead of Chrono Trigger. That's what happened. That's not a fucking, no fucking way. No fucking way. On top of that, let's just say that it was a repro label and it was Chrono Trigger that was sent to him. He said he'd be okay with that and he'd be fine with that. At the same time, you look at collectors like me, you look at any other collectors, you pull up people like Alpha Omega Sin, the Game Chasers, Pat the NES Punk, Happy Council Gamer, anybody, you pull up any of those guys and you say, oh hey, I have a copy of Chrono Trigger here. And when they point out that you have a repro label on it, and you still try and sell it to them for 80 bucks, 90 bucks, 100 bucks, they're gonna turn you down right away because there's nobody who in the collecting business or in the collecting, it's not a business. This isn't a business. But anybody who is in the collecting scene and collecting video games does not want a repro labeled Chrono Trigger. They want the real thing. In all honesty, they could have a fucking copy of Chrono Trigger and someone could have drew a dick on it and this half of the label could be gone. And I guarantee you that if they had an option between buying the repro labeled one or that one for 80 bucks, they'd choose the one with the dick on it. Because they want a copy, an original copy of Chrono Trigger. They don't want this other bullshit. That's all I've got to say about that. As far as their return policy, it's a good thing they have one. Bigger issue with this is, like I said, he didn't get no copy of Chrono Trigger. It'd have been one thing if he, let's say, got a repro label and Chrono Trigger was actually in there. Let's say he wasn't satisfied and he was thinking about returning it. And they mentioned to him, oh, well, that was our last copy of Chrono Trigger. We don't have another one to send you. What the fuck do you do then? Do you keep the game? Do you send it back in the hopes that you're the next one in line to get a fucking copy of Chrono Trigger, even though you should have fucking already had it already? GameStop, this is only the tip of the iceberg. This is not the first time, and it certainly won't be the last time you fuck up, and I know that for a fact. You guys don't know what you're doing. You should quit this business while you're ahead, and just let your company sink in 3 to 5 years like everyone's thinking you're gonna, because other people are gonna take your business, including fucking places like Walmart, who apparently can sell pre-owned games now. They're doing your job too, and they're gonna do it better. Let your ship sink and move on to something else. Thoughts, comments down below. You think I'm being completely biased? Go right ahead. But you know what? GameStop is coming to an end. I don't know exactly when, I don't know exactly where, but they're going to be done. And they put the nail in their own coffin when they decided to go into this business and not know what the hell they're doing. They can't read repro labels, they can't read fakes, they can't find out if their save batteries are current and full of life, or if they're on the brink of dying. They can't do any of that. They don't know what they're doing. That is a fact. So leave your thoughts and comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to me if you are not subscribed, and if you don't want to be subscribed, well, have a good life. I mean, I'm still going to make my videos, it doesn't matter. But until next time, you guys take care.